Hey guys, it's John with NV Property Solutions, back at you again for another video. And in this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons of selling your house or your home as is in the Reno area. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it and figure out what are the pros and cons of selling your house as is. So what exactly does as is mean? A lot of people are usually like, well, what the heck does that mean? So as is means you see what you get. It's where is, as is. There's nothing to it. There's no guarantees. It's just that's it. It might be in very poor shape. It might be in excellent shape. So you see what you get. So you're gonna have to disclose these kinds of things when you're actually selling the property. So like if there's leaks and stuff like that, you're gonna have to disclose those. Especially if you're going to use a realtor. But anyway, so what are the benefits of selling your home, completely as is? Well, one, it's a quick sale. So with that is usually when you're selling a house and you don't have the time to fix it up, you're probably going to go more towards with a investor or a direct buyer when you're selling your house as is. So that, of course, that means a quicker sale because usually the direct buyer, unless maybe it's your friend that has to get pre-qualified for a loan, but normally like a home buying company or investor or something of that nature, they're going to have the cash ready to go, so that way you are able to close quicker, within 7 days or whenever you're on your time schedule. So that what that means is maybe you're moving, you're relocating to a new job, or you just lost your job and you have to get rid of the house and you don't have the time to fix it up. So that's one of the reasons. You're going through a divorce, and maybe the court's forcing you to sell right now because if you guys don't do this, it's not going to be settled because for whatever reason, maybe divorces are tricky, and I'm not going to go into all the specifics of it, but you're just going to have to, you might have to sell quickly, like I said. You have an unwanted inherited property that and you can't rent, or I mean you don't want to rent it out because you've had terrible tenants in the past, or you're too far away at the area, or you just don't have the money to fix up the house that you just inherited. So you might have to sell it as it. I mean, you're going to have to sell it as is, or you just need the cash quickly because something happened in your life, whether it be medical bills or whatever, and you just need to get rid of the house as quickly as possible. So say it's like as a rental property and the tenant's completely torn up, but now life got in the way and you have to get rid of, you have to pay that bill. So selling your house quickly that way might be helpful. So with that is you're going to avoid costly repairs. So just because renovations do cost a lot of money. So on average a roof will cost, on average, depending on the square footage of the house, but usually is about $10,000 to $15,000. Depends on like I said, it depends on the square footage of the house. It might be a little higher, it might be a little lower, especially if you have a smaller house. But say if you have a roof that's been leaking for forever, obviously you don't have the money to pay for it. Again, as is probably best. Of course, when you do this, there's you'll be selling to a cash buyer or an investor or a direct buyer, so there won't be any real estate commissions or real estate agent commissions. But I mean, if you do list your house on the open market, you are going to have to pay real estate commissions, which are usually about 6% of the total final selling price. So say if your house sells for $100,000, obviously you're going to have to pay $6,000 for realtor fees. So just keep that in mind when you are selling. But if you are selling to a direct buyer or a cash home buyer, then you won't have to worry about that, unless maybe they might be a realtor or something like that and they plan on listing your house, which in this area I highly doubt it. With that being said, is when not working with an agent, you don't have to worry about any of the staging. And if you just keep your house neat and clean, you pack away all your belongings and stuff like that, all your personal belongings, then you can use that as staging. But more often than not, you won't have to worry about anyone that's coming through your house is expecting your house to be staged. Like what you see on HGTV or anything like that. Normally the houses are staged just so that they get more buyers and more people looking at the house and actually can picture themselves in the house. So some of the downfalls or cons to the selling your house as is obviously it might create a negative impression with your potential buyers. So the potential buyers, they might just they'll be looking through the MLS. Say if it is on the MLS, they might just look at it like, I don't want it, and then just breeze right through it. So with that is, you're gonna have some people they're like, I don't want it, or your house is is a dump or whatever, and they might breeze past it. Of course, also too is if that's the case, then they might give you a lower price than what you're expecting. And then the second part of that is you might come off as desperate, especially if you list the house on the MLS and the realtor. I'm not saying that all realtors will do this, but some they might price it a little high and then reduce it down as it sits on the market. But in this case, you might seem a little bit desperate just because your house is listed as is and you don't want to fix it, especially if it's on the open market. So just keep that in mind, and you might get a lower asking price than what your bottom line is. So just keep your bottom line in mind and try and do your absolute best not to go below that. If you have to, I mean that's with time, time constraint. Then obviously you might have to take a lower than your bottom line price. So if time is not an issue, I mean by all means try and get as most money as you can. Of course, you're going to have a limited market. With that is obviously not very many people in this as of today don't really want fixer-uppers. They really don't. Everyone, especially if you're going to pay $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a house, you don't want to have to put an additional $60,000, $70,000 or even $100,000 into the house. So that's probably why no one's really looking for fixer-uppers or houses that are listed as is. I kind of touched on this earlier. So you also might have to just settle for less. Of course, like I said, you want to keep your bottom line in mind. But again, if it's, time is not on your side, then you might have to take a little bit less than what you're looking for, just to get rid of the house, and for a quick sale. And also too with that is you don't have to accept the first offer that comes your way. If you can definitely shop around, get other prices from other investors or direct buyers, and see what they have to offer. Some every investor is different. Everyone's numbers are different, so that some might be they might give you say $100,000 for your house, or some might give you 120, 130, whatever the case may be is. So I mean, of course, just shop around. All right, so there definitely is another way. Like I said, you don't have to sell it on the MLS, but if you're going to do that, obviously you're going to want to check out maybe possibly selling it to investors. So what are the pros and cons of an investor? Is one of the pros is they'll make you an offer for your house completely as is, and they'll pay cash, and that you won't have to go back and forth with negotiations and stuff like that. Usually, with my company, I will tell you, this is what I can pay. If that number works for you, then cool, we move forward. If not, then no big deal. We can always explore other options. And of course, there's no formal inspections, so you don't have to worry about 100 people coming through your house. There's no showings, anything like that. Which is great because now with the coronavirus and stuff like that still going on, is one, you don't have to disinfect every time that someone comes through. With my company, there's only going to be one, maybe two inspections at the absolute most, but usually we'll give you a heads up when that actually happens. But you also too, you can do like a like a Zoom, to walk around with your phone showing off the house and stuff like that. And we don't have to do a walkthrough, but usually we'll try and do a walkthrough before we close on the house, just so that we know what's all wrong with the house. And of course, as you disclose stuff and stuff like that, we can actually get a better idea of what's wrong with the house. So say if you're open and honest with us, you'll make it a little bit easier, instead of trying to hide stuff like the pipes have burst and there you just don't want to have to deal with it, and it's been running water for the past 3 years, and there's all kinds of mold underneath the house. And if you don't disclose that, then obviously it's going to be a little bit more tricky, but you won't have to worry about going back and forth on negotiations and stuff like that. And also, of course, another pro is that we have cash ready available today, so we're able to close relatively quickly, whether it be 7 days or 2 weeks or 5 months, whatever your time schedule is. We can close whenever you're ready. So the only drawback that I can think of as far as using a cash buyer is you're going to get a lower offer than what you would on a traditional market. And that the only reason why is because we have to invest our time and our money into trying to fix the place up, either to rent it out and keep it as our own, or to flip it, like what you see on HGTV a lot. But anyway, that's really what it all boils down to. Other than that, I mean, if you're looking for a fast cash sale, you can definitely reach out to me anytime. My phone number is right here. It's 775-391-5236. Or you can hit me up on my website, which is nvpropertysolutions.com, which is right here as well. Anyway, other than that, that's it. That's all I got for this video. And also, too, if you don't know where to start, of course, you can always reach out to me as well to figure out the best solution for you. Other than that, we'll see you around for the next video. Other than that, you guys take care.